Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at a very important development that has sparked discussions across South Africa and the region. There are talks about South Africa possibly opening its borders to allow entry for Zimbabweans, Namibians and Botswana with just their national IDs instead of passports. Stay with me till the end so you can hear the sources and try to verify this news yourself. This is a topic that touches on a lot of sensitive issues in our country, from immigration and border control to regional cooperation and community ties. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss updates like this one. Now, let's break it down. Currently, for anyone to cross into South Africa legally, a valid passport is required. But in some neighboring countries, especially within the Southern African Development Community, there has long been pressure for borders to become less restrictive. The idea is that people from the region, who often have cultural and family ties across borders, should be able to move more freely, just as goods and trade do. Reports indicate that officials have been discussing this proposal seriously, looking at what it would mean for South Africa if nationals from Zimbabwe, Namibia, and Botswana could enter with only their national ID documents. Zimbabweans, for example, have deep ties with South Africa, and many families straddle the border. Botswana and Namibia also have strong links, with a history of people moving back and forth for work, trade, and cultural reasons. But of course, this is not without challenges. South Africa is already grappling with concerns around illegal immigration, strained resources, and social tensions. Critics of this proposal argue that opening borders even wider, without passports, could overwhelm systems already under pressure. Clinics, schools, and job markets could feel the weight of even more people entering the country without strong checks. On the other hand, those in support of the proposal point out that passport requirements are sometimes a barrier for ordinary people who just want to visit family or conduct small-scale cross-border trade. They argue that making travel easier could boost regional economies, strengthen social cohesion, and help reduce the number of people resorting to illegal crossings. We should also look at how this has played out elsewhere. In the East African community, some countries already allow citizens to travel using national IDs. For example, Kenya, Uganda and Rwanda agreed on such an arrangement, and it has made trade and mobility easier. Proponents say this could be a model for Southern Africa, especially given the regional agreements under SADC that talk about closer integration. Still, the South African context is unique. The country faces higher unemployment rates and ongoing tensions around migrants. The fear many South Africans have is that this proposal could end up worsening existing issues, including crime and job competition. Some have also questioned how such an arrangement would be enforced in practice. Would ID systems be secure enough to prevent fraud? Would law enforcement agencies be able to track and identify people effectively without passport controls? And how would overstays be managed? These are the kinds of technical details that officials would need to sort out before anything is implemented. In communities like Messina, Limpopo, or border towns along Botswana and Namibia, the debate is particularly relevant. These towns already experience high levels of cross-border movement, both legal and illegal. Local residents are divided. Some say freer movement could encourage tourism and business, while others fear it could strain local resources even further. For ordinary South Africans, the key question is whether the government has the capacity to manage such an open border system without making citizens feel neglected or pushed aside. If clinics continue to be overcrowded, if housing lists keep getting longer, and if joblessness continues to rise, people may not welcome this change. But at the same time, many in the region see borders as artificial lines that cut through shared communities. Families have members on both sides, and economies depend on cross-border trade. For them, an ID-based travel system would not only be convenient but would also reflect the real connections that exist among neighboring countries. It's worth remembering that South Africa itself has benefited from the support of neighbors in the past, especially during the struggle against apartheid. Zimbabwe, Botswana and Namibia all provided forms of assistance and shelter. Some voices are reminding South Africans that regional solidarity should not be forgotten. However, politics always plays a role. Some parties will use this debate to push their own agenda, whether it's for tighter immigration controls or for closer African unity. Already, social media is buzzing with arguments from both sides. You can find people who believe this will be the beginning of chaos, and others who say it will open doors to more opportunities. At the end of the day, the decision will have to balance security, economics, and human connections. If South Africa decides to go ahead with this proposal, it could reshape the way people in the region move and interact. But if it rejects it, it will have to deal with ongoing criticism that the country is shutting itself off from its neighbors. It is clear that this is not a simple issue. It's not just about IDs and passports, but about identity, belonging, economics, and national pride. South Africans will need to think carefully about what kind of future they want with their neighbors. Before we wrap up, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more updates like this. We cover the news that matters to you and break it down in a way that makes sense. And just to lighten things up a bit, I think if this ID entry system does come into effect, some South Africans might joke that we'll need VIP lanes for people who actually carry passports, because they'll become the rare ones. Imagine someone proudly flashing their passport at the border while everyone else just whips out an ID like they're going into a nightclub. On a serious note though, let's keep watching this space closely. It could shape the region for years to come. All images used in this video are for illustration purposes only. News sources: Daily Maverick, News 24, SABC News, Zimbabwe Independent.